So, here we are. We're at the Coalition for One Voice's Passion to Connect. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and welcome. Thank you all for being here. This is a great turnout. And what is the Coalition? The Coalition is all of us coming together to share our vision, to share our collective power. It's time to connect with just people in our area doing similar things, doing spiritually conscious projects and organizations. So it started with a few of us, and then we've been planning this, and now it's grown to over 100 organizations here present today with people. And in that planning stage, we met Dale Colton, who's working with the Alliance for a New Humanity, and they are doing globally what we want to do here locally, which is to really network all our organizations together and create this collective family in New York and on the planet.
Not Christian, or Jew, or Muslim. Not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, or Zen. Not any religion or cultural system. I am not from the East or the West. My place is the placeless, a trace of the traceless, neither body or soul. I belong to the beloved, have seen the two worlds as one, and that one call to and know. First, last, outer, inner. Only that breath, breathing, human being.
In the last 2 weeks, we've seen some amazing things occur. North Korea right now is poised to set off yet another nuclear test. We all know about that. We've had 4 school shootings within the last 2 weeks alone. Global warming, we can't even go there right now. And of course, here in New York City, this week we had a plane in a building. It raised such fear that we remember from 5 years ago. And we all got brought back to this time, but we were also brought back to a time of resilience here in New York City. And it's really important because there is a consciousness movement here in New York City. The way I like to look at it, being a business reporter as I am, is that we have this bank of consciousness, and we're all human capital. And we're all kind of depositing into this bank of consciousness. The question is, what will we do with it? You know, what comes next? We're all here in the room, and we have an opportunity here to take. So I'm urging everyone to really take a look at that. So joining me right now, first, Andrew Cohen is a 21st century spiritual teacher and cultural visionary. He teaches throughout the world. And of course, Deepak Chopra, a world-renowned leader in mind-body medicine. He's really dedicated himself to bringing diverse people from all over the world together to make a difference. So please join me in welcoming Andrew Cohen and Deepak Chopra.
The way the alliance came about was, I was talking to an evolutionary biologist a while ago, and she said one of the things that happens every day in biology is something called metamorphosis, when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. That's a quantum leap of creativity, in a sense, in biological terms. So the mechanism of that is that at a certain stage of its development, the caterpillar becomes overconsumptive. It consumes more than its metabolic needs. And at that moment, the body of the caterpillar starts to die. But within the body of the caterpillar, there are a few cells that biologists actually refer to as the imaginal cells. They call them imaginal cells. And the imaginal cells start to gather in little clusters. And the immune cells attack the imaginal cells. But for some reason, they don't respond. They're in a state of choiceless awareness or maybe imagination, we don't know, but they're not effective. And after a while, the immune cells give up. And then the imaginal cells not only gather in a little larger clusters, but they start to connect with each other. And they start to use the dying carcass of the caterpillar as their nutritive soup. It becomes the culture medium in which they grow. And one day, it seems, the connectivity of the clusters of the imaginal cells reaches a critical mass or a tipping point. And on that day, a gene that has been lying asleep wakes up. And it has the information code for a butterfly. And soon a butterfly emerges. The biologist who explained this to me, she said, it's like you took your bicycle to the repair shop and then you went to pick it up and there was a Gulfstream jet waiting for you. And you know, the guy said, it's the same thing you left last week over here. It's transformed. And I want to share this with you. I really wanted to share this metaphor with you because I think here we are, a cluster of imaginal cells, of creative cells. And like us, there are clusters everywhere right now. And the next step is to start to connect these clusters. We're at that point now.
When we realize there's no mythic Godhead out there that's going to take care of us or going to save us, there are no them out there. There's no higher brotherhood or order in the manifest or unmanifest domain that has figured this out. We're really in new territory here. And it's literally up to us to create the future together. And of course the whole issue today is we have to find a way to come together in order to do this because we can't do this alone. We can only do this through coming together in a spirit of creative friction. I call this a very positive kind of creative friction. It's almost when we rub, because the creative process is something that is very positive, and it only happens through friction. The universe wasn't created when God said, "Oh." It wasn't. The expression of the universe was not an expression of peace. It was an expression of profound creativity, and there's a thrill and an excitement and an ultimate experience of ecstasy and joy in becoming. And so we have to find a way to come together in creative friction, which means we don't always have to agree. We don't always have to agree. We have to realize through coming together and rubbing against each other with the highest and the deepest and the profoundest part of ourselves, new potentials are going to emerge. And I think that the metaphor of the butterfly is really about us really coming together in this way in order so that these new potentials will emerge through us individually and collectively. But in order for that to happen, we all have to make room for potentials that have not emerged yet. We all have to realize that the ultimate answer and the ultimate solution has not been found. But through coming together with a courageous motive means it's not going to work out the way we want it to, nor is it going to work out the way we think we would like it to be, because it's impossible to imagine what the future is going to be. And I'm sure all of you noticed that the most profound and extraordinary things that have ever happened in your life are things that you never could have imagined beforehand. So there's a sense of a not already knowing, or a kind of a mature innocence and creative commitment that we all have to bring to the table, and then start really rubbing up against each other.
Andrew Cohen and Deepak Chopra.
Now you've got to sing with me. Will you sing with me? All right, I'll sing it to you. Sing it back to me, all right? All right? Yeah. Saying, let me be like a butterfly. Let me be like a butterfly. Let me be like a butterfly. Let me create. Let me create. Oh, let me create change in the world. Let me be like a butterfly. You gotta take that simple step. Starts with changing yourself. It's the simple things that we can do each and every day to change the world in our own special way. Say, let me be like a butterfly.
What you're going to be doing in just a second is you're going to be finding your way into little groups of 4. This is a World Cafe. It's as if you were sitting at a cafe. I imagine some of you have had incredible conversations around the water fountain, okay? And things have been popped up and new ideas have come forward. We're going to pose some questions for you, building on what we've just been listening to. Listen to what's new and what's different. Okay? Go.
My children and you.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
Okay, well, you know, keep coming to these events. We're having a
organize this on a regular basis, I think it would be great for all of us.
So I propose that we really have a forum where we can take a look at all things.
For me, the vision would be that we're connecting with the earth and that we're respecting her and that we're doing whatever we can to make that a priority and connect with each other. So thank you. Wakantanka.
As if we're speaking to your soul.
I do think it's important that we have community here in New York, and the person like Jody and the people that are doing that is Alex and Allison Gray. They have a Chapel of Sacred Mirrors on the 4th floor of this building that they've opened up to everybody after we leave here.
Our evolutionary spirituality has to engage us creatively. And so it's Allison's and my and many people's dream to create new kind of sacred space in a similar way, resonant with what they did 1,000 years ago. What if the sacred traditions and non-sacred traditions, but our sense of emerging spirituality, could create a new kind of sacred space that would, that like Andrew was saying, could inspire New York with a new kind of sacred spire. And this is a vision that we really hope can take root. And upstairs is really a sketch. It's a kind of a walk-in brochure for the kind of sacred space that we'd like to build, a permanent sacred space that could leave a message for our children's children's children, if there are any, depending on which scenario bears out. But if we all work together, there will be a future for humanity, and they can see that we were about more than building just shopping malls and banks and things.
Come on! I want to be like a butterfly, changing the world, changing the world. Woo! Yeah, I want to be like a butterfly, changing the world, changing the world. One heart at a time, one heart at a time. I want to be like a butterfly, changing the world, changing the world. Oh, my friends, we can change the world. Gotta change ourselves. Close your eyes and see that beautiful butterfly that started out with one creative thought and the power to believe. Believe in yourself and know that we, like the butterfly, can so beautifully, with the way that we talk and the way that we touch, gotta rub against each other, but not too much. We can change the world from this moment on, 'cause I wanna be like a butterfly, changing the world one heart at a time.
Thank you. Fred Johnson, thank you for coming. Stay in touch. Remember your family. See you next time.